CARLY.
That was amazing. That was so insane.
Pretty good.
Hey everybody, it's John Lamberton here alongside my good friend and business partner, Mr. Jason Brockman. We are here for another episode of the Ambitious Lifestyle Business Podcast, where as always, it is our job to help you get more customers and make more money without just working harder. So without further ado, let's dive straight into this month's episode.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 51 of the ALB podcast, and we are joined today by Carly Freemont from Freemont Property Solutions, property sourcer and investor based here in Plymouth. Welcome to the podcast, Carly.
Thank you. Thanks guys for having me.
Yes. For those listening who may not know what a property sourcer is, you're not a property sorcerer, are you?
No, I don't believe so.
So what is a property sourcer?
Property sourcer, basically, I'm somebody who can find you some investment property deals. It's mainly for people who live far away from the investment area. They don't have any time to invest in looking for these property deals. So for some people, it's very hard. It's a struggle to get one offer accepted. Mm-hmm. So for somebody who's a sourcing agent, it's something that they do on a regular basis. So they're more likely to get offers accepted than somebody who does it every weekend or once a weekend, because you've got your family life, you've got your jobs. So I'm there really as like the middle sort of person in between the estate agent and the investor to try and get those offers accepted and package them up so you've got all the information you need there to know about the deal, to then make the decision whether you want to invest, and then you've got your deal. Yes.
Okay, so it's a way that a property investor can leverage their time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for example, let's say you're based in Plymouth. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of the properties you look at are kind of Wales, aren't they? Which is 2.5 hours
just over
drive.
2 hour drive, yeah.
That's quite a track. And I imagine if you are an investor driving 2.5 hours each way, mm-hmm. just to go and look at a potential deal which may not stack up, probably not really worth your time, is it? So actually using someone like a property sourcer is a fantastic way you could buy it literally the other end of the country.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely something I would be looking into doing when, if the time comes, I want to be looking further afield. I'd be using my connections mm-hmm. to pay for a sourcing agent up the line, because I certainly wouldn't want to be doing 5 hours up, 5 hours back.
No, exactly.
I would need to get to know the area really well as well. So that's going to take me a lot more time. So it just makes sense, to leverage my time. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you haven't always done property sourcing, though, have you?
No.
Property wasn't originally the main passion for you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey, how you ended up here?
Yeah, of course. So as a child, basically, I was always into dancing. And the time came after university. I went to university because it was the right thing to do. After university, I decided I was going to go for it as a dancer. I moved to London, but that was a big struggle trying to find jobs in London as a dancer. Everyone wanted to be a dancer in London. When you went to an audition, it was hundreds of people. I found an advertisement online for going abroad and being a dancer, and I found a job in Mexico. It was my dream job. I left my family, I left my friends, but it was the dream job for me. I was never like a 9-to-5 person who could be stuck in one place, going to the same place every day. So I just went up and I left, went to Mexico, was dancing every single day. And it wasn't until a couple of years later, it's obviously a lot of strain on a dancer's body. If you're doing a discipline every single day and you're rehearsing and performing, you're going to feel some strains on the body. Mm-hmm. And I basically got to the point, it was about 2013, where I was in a lot of pain every morning. So rehearsing was a big struggle. And the shows at night, I think the only thing that was getting me through it was the adrenaline. That was the only thing that got me through it. So when I was losing the adrenaline, the pain was kicking in too much, contacted family from back home, and I said, I need to come home, I need to find out what it is. And basically on my dad's side of the family is rheumatoid arthritis. So problems in rheumatoid arthritis can be symmetrical joint pain, inflammation, fatigue. Obviously as a dancer, feeling fatigue is not a good thing because you've got to be on point for a whole hour for a show.
Not an option, really, is it?
Not really. No, I need to take a break, guys. I'll be back in 20. You don't really get that. And then you've got to rehearse 6 days a week. You're doing shows 6 nights a week. And I just, the temperature you can imagine in Mexico was very hot. So you're also sweating in a way, your body weight is gone.
How did you cope with that?
Just tried to eat and drink as much as I could. I had friends as well that I was leaning on, just like dance partners. I did a lot of partner work where they would lift me in the air and I'd turning around in the air. It got to the point where my partner was, Carly, you're not helping me. I don't know if people know, but when you watch a ballet piece or partner work, the female has a lot of work to do. It's not just the strength of the male. You need to push off your partner. So if you're not strong enough to do that, obviously my shoulders were not very strong at that point. So yeah, I was causing a bit of strain on my partner at that time. Yeah. So I flew back to England. I said to my mum, I can't wait for an appointment. I need to get back to the job. I paid to be a specialist, and it did take a little while. Mm-hmm. It was quite frustrating. They just said it was a type of arthritis, and then I jumped in. I said, well, my dad, my auntie, and my granddad, and my nan have this. And they were like, check. And it came back, so I've got arthritis, basically. I went back, not very long, because I said to my mum, obviously, I can't do this. This is not what I can do anymore. So I flew back to England, and it was just a point where my purpose for life, I didn't know what it was anymore, as you can imagine, because my passion was dance, being a dancer, performing. So coming back to England was really hard.
So you were told at this point there was no prospect of continuing, there was no recovery, and you just take some of these pills and go back to your dancing, go back to Mexico.
Yeah, no, that wasn't an option. It was something that was going to stay with me throughout my life. And the tablets that they can give you now can suppress, they can slow down the process of rheumatoid, but you can't stop it. So they said we would advise you not to go back.
Advise, that sounds like you could have.
Yeah, they weren't going to stop me if I wanted to. I think they knew I was dying to get back there.
Yeah.
But, if I was going to go back, I would have deteriorated even more. I could tell that I'd lost weight. I could see it in the top half of my body. I could tell. And I didn't look healthy. But obviously it was a massive choice I had to make, and I wasn't happy with it. But luckily I had a really supportive family, and my friends were happy to see me. But yeah, I had no idea what I wanted to do. That was the worst part of it.
So what was going through your mind then? What were you feeling?
I felt like I was older than I actually was. I mean, I thought, arthritis, that's, my nan and granddad had it. I was like, they had it in their 50s. My dad sadly was an alcoholic. So when he knew his dad and mum had it, so there was a big likelihood he was going to have it. So if he was healthy, not a drinker, not a smoker, then maybe he wouldn't look the way he does now. And that's what frightened me. My dad looks like an 80-year-old man. When my granddad was alive, he passed a few years ago, he was down in Plymouth, and people thought my dad was my granddad and my granddad was my dad. So that was hilarious, really.
Has that fueled the alcoholism as well? You think perhaps the alcohol numbs the pain, therefore self-medicate?
Yeah, that's the excuse he uses, and it's Guinness, which apparently iron. So
it's healthy then. So you use it like Guinness. Yes, that's
what they said. Yeah, iron. You need more iron in your body.
Guinness to pregnant women, didn't they?
It did. I think that's kind of a pretty good driver for you to kind of stop the dance, because you can see that was only going to get worse, and actually you want to kind of stop that whilst you were able to do so.
Yeah.
Your body kind of saying, actually, no, you ain't doing no more. So that's a really good driver for you. So how did you stumble across what you did next?
Basically, because I knew I had it, I looked at my dad and I was like, I'm not going to end up like that. I found a gym actually straight away and decided to make sure I was going to the gym. And I researched arthritis a lot, and as you can imagine, it's quite depressive. Whatever you Google is awful. So I did go into a bit of a slump, but I found a gym, perked myself up, started doing light weights, and then I found dance classes. But I was on benefits really, because I had to help. I moved in with my mum, I had to help her, So I was on benefits for a little while, because as soon as I came back to England, that was the first thing on our minds. Let's sort out finding a job. Benefits was first, because it was what I was able to get.
Table first.
Yeah, exactly. And because of my condition, because I found it very hard to get up in the morning and just go, I found that I was very stiff. I found that gravity was keeping me on my bed. It was hard to describe. It was literally like you were heavy. So to get yourself up in the morning was literally like you had to give it 5 tries.
How old were you at this point?
25, I believe.
That must be really tough.
Yeah.
Mid-20s and not able to have the energy to get yourself out of bed.
Yeah, awful. Because obviously the energy I was having before was 100% energy, 110. I was giving I was giving my all on stage. So yeah, that was the first step, to sort that out and to look for a job. I did eventually stumble across a waitressing job, which is probably the longest job I've ever stayed in. But I think it's just the people that were there, and I was always talking to people. I really worked hard at waitressing. I mean, I remember sweating on the job. As you can imagine, as a dancer, I was sweating all the time. So it's not like I was ever shy of doing that. Not to say I was dripping on your food or anything, but I was working hard, and the people I was surrounding myself with was great. And that's what got me out of the slump, because as you can imagine, when you're depressed, the last thing you need to do is be on your own. That's the last thing you should do. Finding a job really, it gave me a purpose again, because having benefits, it helped, but it was never going to be the route I was going to go down, because you never have a purpose there. You're not adding value to anyone's life, and you're not adding it to yourself either. You're being given the money, not doing anything, and that's never been the way I wanted to live. So the waitressing job was there for a couple of years. And kept me going. And it got to a point, because I started a relationship. The guy I'm with now, love of my life, bless him. But we did meet when I was unemployed and on benefits. And I did do a little fib, lie. When we first met, I told him that I was a secretary for my brother's job. So as you can imagine, I was embarrassed to say that I was on benefits or that I was jobless, because of myself. I felt like that. I didn't want to tell him. I made up a fib. He knows now, only about 2 weeks.
I
was going to keep it for the wedding day for a little joke, but I literally told him about 3 months ago. I don't know what came into my head. That was quite a funny moment.
So at some point he thought you were just going off to the day job as a secretary?
Yeah, pretty much. Until I found the waitressing job, and then I didn't have to lie. So I'd say he was the one that pushed me to find a job. But yeah, that job was great, and I still drive past it now. This is the ironic thing. When I do my supply teaching, I'll get to that later, but I drive past that waitressing job, and it's interesting. Sometimes I stop off and say hi. But yeah, that job really got me through tough times. But again, I got to a point where I was like, I should be getting a proper job and working up the ladder as as the world and parents teach you and school teachers. So I was like, okay, I'm a dancer and I teach well. Let's be a dance teacher. So I decided, because I had my degree, I decided to do a PGCE.
Yeah.
So I did that.
What was your original degree in?
It was in musical theatre.
Okay.
So I did the dance, singing and acting. But the passion really was dance there. That was the real passion. But great experience. Although you're in debt, aren't you? That's the only thing. You go to university, done it.
Absolutely. So you did your PGCE?
Did that. That was a year long, not very long, but it was in Exeter, so there was a lot of driving. And I was getting used to my condition. I was on tablets. It was keeping me stable, but there were things that would tip you. So if you get stressed, you get flare-ups. So I would get inflamed joints, so like the knee, the elbows. And there's certain flare-ups that different people get. Mine, I could tell when I was stressed, and I said to my boyfriend, maybe I should have done, what's it called? When you go into a school for free, maybe I should have done that for like a year. So I just went straight into it. So during the course, it was very stressful, and I sat down with my partner and said, this is going to be really hard for me. I don't think I can keep up with the pressures of what the job demands to be a full-time teacher. So as soon as I graduated, there weren't any dance jobs going. So I went straight into supply teaching. But obviously, as you can imagine, the money is when and if the job is there. Yeah. So that was tough. And when I was graduating, so it was the last couple of weeks of training, I found online something about property investing, and that it was a free 2-hour seminar, how to invest in property, be financially free, and how you could actually do it, not even using your own money. I was like, this is interesting.
Did you, just rewinding a touch there, when you were doing your PGC, did you still have the waitressing job?
Yes.
So you had things tougher than most people. Life, just getting out of bed was hard. You were in a lot of pain. And you were holding down a waitressing job, travelling 45 miles to Exeter.
True.
To do a uni course, doing work placements. And then you thought, I know what I'll do. I'll learn property investment as well.
True.
I've not got enough on my plate.
True.
Guilty.
You'll find out later on that I still do that. Yeah, I can never stop. Yeah, you've just helped me realise that, actually. Thank you. The what I was doing back then was actually quite a lot. But the waitressing needed to give me money to be able to pay for things I wanted. Like, I had the gym membership still, so that was paying for my gym membership.
I forgot you were going to the gym as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I go to the gym as well. So, yeah, I didn't want people paying for things for me and like feeling sorry for me. You know, I'm made out of glass. I wasn't made out of glass, you know? So, yeah, waitressing, they were great as well because they knew I was at uni. So they were like, well, they were being very much, if you can do next week or next month, tell us.
Yeah.
Every half term, summer holidays, I was there every week. And I was doing that. I was doing all of it. Yeah.
So what was the next step then into the world of property? Went to this, was it seminar?
Yeah, well, 2 hours. Yeah, I'd call it a seminar. Yeah, it was 2 hours. And it was just around the corner from our house, actually. So my mum was in the house and I was like, we've got to go to this. This is so interesting. So we went up and 2 hours, just they flew by. It was as if it was half an hour. The information they gave you was insane. And at the back, you know, there were these people with sheets and they basically said, you know, if you want to sign up.
That's 50 people to run to the back of the room.
The
special deal.
Oh, probably the first 5, you know, hurry up. And then 50 are there. And I'm surely they've run out of numbers now. But yeah, I did that. I went to the back. I was a bit apprehensive about it because I wasn't on a wage where you could just go, yeah. I remember now, I did put it on a credit card and I was thinking, I'll just hustle and pay it off because this could mean everything.
Yeah.
And my mum was like, are you sure? Do you know what you're doing? I mean, what if this is a scam? As they all would say. But no, I signed up to it and really I was thinking I want my partner to do it with me, but it would have been very hard to get him to sign up to it when he wasn't there for the 2 hours.
Yeah.
So basically I have done this technically on my own, but you know, the people I surround myself with now.
You were a secretary at this point.
Yeah, he thought I was a secretary / waitress / PGCE student. Oh God, yeah. So yeah, I did sign up on my own. Then I did the 3-day. My mum went in on one of the days, but really I did that on my own. And again, they offered you another, you know, come join us again, this time in London, and sign up at the back. And from what I was hearing over those 3 days, I was like, this happens, this is real, and this has got to work for me because waitressing, although I enjoyed it, I wasn't, as I said earlier, I liked to add value to people. When I was on stage, I saw smiles and then people at the side of the stage would come talk to you. My daughter wants to do this and you got any advice for her? And I loved that. And I felt like that's what property gave you, you know, helping someone out of a situation, helping other investors. And it was a no-brainer for me, really, because I was listening to people's stories. It wasn't just the speaker. There was a guy from Plymouth who came in. His name's David. And he gave us his financial freedom story. You know, he was a real-life guy in front of me from Plymouth, where I'm from. And he was giving his story. I never thought it was a scam because I know property works from watching Comes Under the Hammer, you know, the typical stuff that's out there. Yeah, it's real. It's just you need the right information and the right guidance. So I did sign up to that. Yeah, that was about 2 years ago now.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think there are scammers out there who will just latch on to, property's a hot sector. We can sell courses, masterminds, guides, how to, done for you deals. But also there are genuine people out there. And I think, you know, if you're going to do any sector, not just property, but if you're going to study into something and you find, you go to a seminar and there is the sales tactics of run to the back of the room today, only we've got a special deal for you. And, you know, here's this guy and he was living on his arse and then all of a sudden he's earning 10 grand a month. You know, just do your due diligence because there are scammers and there are genuine people out there. I've been to some events where you've had different speakers lined up throughout the day and you've got this headline speaker. So the one I was there for was Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. And 4 hours or 5 hours before Jordan comes on stage, you're paraded with the Forex trader, the public speaking guy, the American real estate guy. And it's the guy, the guy who was sat in front of me bought absolutely everything. So I thought this guy is either going to be like this multi-millionaire, Forex trading, property investing, stock trading, public speaker, or he's just maxed out his credit card. And, each of these guys, probably, if you follow their system and you do what they tell you to do, it does work for some people, but you've got to do the work. And I think that's where most of the scammers prey on people is, well, this is easy. Just give me your money and you'll be rich without having to do any work, because it's so easy. And I think I've seen a few people like that do pitches, but I think once you've seen a few of them, you see through the veil and you know what's genuine. And unfortunately, it's tough for the person who is genuine to get their message out there and say, well, actually, I've done this. I want to help other people do it. Yes, I've got a course. Yes, I've got a mastermind group. And then to have people go, oh, it's probably a scam. To be instantly dismissive. And, to some extent, well, if you've been there and done it, it doesn't matter if someone calls you a scammer, because you know you're genuine, don't you?
The other good thing is I think you just said really, was that actually you can invest in yourself for all you like, but actually if you don't do what it is that kind of you've invested in, so you invested in dance for many years, you paid got a bit of a price there with your health and things, kind of kicked in a bit earlier than maybe it would have done because you did so much dance. Then you came back and you invested in a VGCE, you invested in learning how to waitress properly and get the relationships going, you've invested now into property, you invested in yourself for property, but actually you're doing all of those things to be that best that you can kind of be in that area. And that's actually why you can see success, as opposed to, actually, I'm going to chuck some money at this particular group or this particular thing and actually not follow that through.
I think that's a really good point there, Jess, because no matter what has been right in front of you with regards to your health problems, you've said, okay, I'm going to research the hell out of this and I'm going to find out how I can manage it. Because I'm not going to say, oh, I'm 25, I can't get out of bed in the morning, I've got my benefits coming in, oh, well, that's my life. You've just gone, screw that. What can I do? And I think it's a trait that's clearly continued. I want to be a dancer, right? How do I do that? Let me find out how to do that. I'm going to do that. Okay, I want to manage my condition. I'm going to figure out how to do that, and I'm going to do it. I want to teach. I'm going to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to do it. I want to learn property. I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'm going to do it. All you've done there is figure out what you want, and then find out a way of doing it, whether that is a university course, whether that's doing your own research on the internet, or whether that's going to a seminar and finding a mentor or someone who's done it before. But you've just got the blueprints, because you weren't the first person in their 20s to get rheumatoid arthritis.
No.
You're not the first person to want to study dance. You're not the first person to want to learn property investment. So the information is out there. But I think what also you've done that many, many people other people wouldn't do, and this is where I think you've done very, very well, given the health problems you've had, is you've actually done what you've learned. There's so many people we meet who learn and learn and learn, and they've got books and books piled high, and they have all the knowledge that they would need to do property investment or to become a teacher or to study dancing. They know everything, but they've done nothing. And that's the difference I think you've made, is you are an action taker, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I believe as well, what you were saying. I've been on courses before where, you wear this necklace with all the course names on, and mine was like 3 or 2 at one point, and then I was chatting to somebody with 7, and they're all different colours, so you can tell how many are on there. And you start chatting about, what they've done, and I've already been up to Wales at this point about 5 times to check out these areas, and they don't even know their area, where they're going to hit. They don't know what strategy they want to do, and they don't know what they've won. And there was a guy from Plymouth who drove me home. That was a weird story. He works with my partner. My partner now knows he does nothing with it. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy, because the amount of money that you do invest, and I've invested a lot. I've invested more than a yearly wage of a teacher in my training. And I've been in it 2 years. So you can already tell that's quite a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, that's paying dividends for you now, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. I've now just shocked myself with what I just said. And the uni fees. Yeah, but that's a fact. Yeah. Just a quick calculation in my head, and That's the number. But I do not intend to ever stop investing in my education and my self-development. I know how vital it is now. But only if you take the action, which is what you were mentioning earlier, both of you. You have to take the action. You can't expect, to just chuck the money at them and then expect them to help you. They can only help you so much. They cannot kick you to get you in the car or to get you out in the real world. That's the difference.
We've had it, haven't we, with 1% Club, where people have joined, they've started paying us some money, and as far as they're concerned, that's their bit done. Well, I've paid you the money, you go and sort my business out, you fix my problems.
Well, actually, coaching, I've got some mentoring, they're telling me stuff I've got to do, I know what I've got to do, it'll happen because I've got myself a mentor, so I'm all right. So that's how, and I feel like I'll tick the box.
There's a saying I like, how you do everything in life is how you do anything. If you rely on other people, it's how you're going to do things in the future. You're always going to rely on someone. So what you were mentioning just then is so true. They just chuck money at you and they're like, come on, help me.
Why isn't my business growing? I've paid for my 1% Club membership. That's it. It should be automatically happening now. Or actually, no. What we can do is help you narrow down what your strategy needs to be and how you need to develop yourself and how you need to make these little 1% improvements to your business. But you've got to do the work. Unfortunately, we are not going to come into your business and do the work for you. We're not going to write the emails for you. We're not going to hire the staff for you. You've got to do that.
You know how it works as professionals. So what you're doing is passing on your knowledge and experience of how it's worked for you and how you can see it works for other people. You are there to give results as best you can. How can you expect them to give you results if they're not going to do what you've asked them to?
And it's, again, as I talk about this in my forthcoming book, Routine Machine, coming out this summer. Still not committing to a firm date. But I talk about
in a month's time, isn't it?
this scene from a couple of seasons ago in Game of Thrones. So you've got Sam Tarly, who is trying to cure Sir Jorah Mormont of the incurable disease, grayscale. You seen this yet?
Jason's catching up there yet. No, I've seen his grayscale.
So anyway, he gets grayscale. Anyway, I'll close your ears for a moment.
I know he's got that.
Right, so he gets grayscale, and basically Sam decides to try and fix him by studying. So he's in this massive, massive library full of these massive, weighty tomes of books. And all the elders, the generations who have been there for 100 years and more, tell them what they can't be done. Unfortunately, grayscale is incurable. There is no cure. You cannot do it. But Sam just says, no, bollocks for that. I'm going to just study these books because the answers are in here somewhere. It's a library. It's 20 feet tall. It's 5 rooms worth, and these massive, massive books. And he just, over the course of like an hour montage, he flicks through these books, and eventually, your ears closed?
No, not yet.
Eventually, he kills him. No, sorry.
They've only just blown up the castle thing. They just blown up the castle thing and killed off all those centres and all that sort of stuff. That's where I've got to.
Anyway.
That's a bit of a change, isn't it?
He manages to cure the incurable disease. And the elders then all of a sudden say, well, Sam, how on earth did you do this? This doesn't make any sense. You've cured an incurable disease. How? Please tell me, how did you do it? And there's this brilliant line which I keep using again and again and again. And he just looks up and says, oh, I read the books and followed the instructions.
Classic.
That was it. That was all I did. I read the books and I followed the instructions. And so many people we see in our world, they come into our mentoring groups and they read the books and then they read some more books. And they read some more books. And they never seem to get anywhere because they don't follow the instructions. And that's the crucial bit that I think so many people miss is they read the books, they don't follow the instructions. You read a book and you just follow those instructions and you're off.
Yeah. Not every book I read, I must say. There is a book now I'm trying to read, but I've decided not to because I do a lot of driving, as you can imagine, when I go up to South Wales. I do listen to Audible, but there is one book I'm not listening to until I've sat down with paper and pen because I really want to learn this.
Okay, what book is that?
So it's how to gain an hour a day.
Okay. Michael Heppel?
Yes, Michael Heppel, yeah. He's got an interesting voice as well.
Oh, he's got a fantastic voice. He's a Geordie, and he's got a really soft Geordie accent.
Yes.
Really nice.
So when you're in the car, it's lovely to listen to. But there's a lot of parts of that book that are like, write this down, do this. Yeah, some of it I've implemented already. And I'm enjoying it. But my partner has said to me, because this is the hustle in me, no matter how many hours you spare in a day, you will always find something to fill it with.
Yeah.
And he's right. He's so right. You just can't help it.
So what have you taken away from it so far? You said you've already implemented a few things.
So I've got this passion planner. I got it online. I think I Googled, planners with half an hour segments where you can plan out your day. And sometimes I do a week ahead, but mostly I do a day ahead. So I wake up and do Miracle Morning every morning at 6 o'clock. Sorry. I'm basically part of a Facebook group because I do need to be kept accountable. I think it really helps.
Yeah.
So there's a Facebook group where every morning we all go onto this Zoom call link, and there's a main speaker, and we're working through Miracle Morning. The Miracle Morning really is about starting the day right, mentioning, all the things you're grateful for, writing down goals, whether it's a goal that you want to achieve today or it's 6 months down the line in the future. I like to do the whole 6-month thing. Bit of meditation, saying your affirmations, and then a motivational video. I think it's been very beneficial to me in the mornings, because years ago, my condition, it was very much, I'll wake up whenever I want to, whenever my body's ready. But I know that too much rest is not good for me. If I sit down for too long, I need to move my joints. So Miracle Morning was amazing for me because it started my day right, and it got me up very early to start the day. So between 6:30 when I finish and 9, I plan things like when I don't want to be interrupted. So I've just started using Podio. Have you heard of Podio? Yeah. So I was using Airtable, but Podio, it sends you reminders. And I really needed concentration. So I was like, right, that needs to be a 7 to 8, maybe 8:30 task. It cannot be after 9 o'clock, because I get estate agents call me, solicitors, my clients. So those are the important things that need to go there. So yeah, I'm using 30-minute segments, and my gym classes go in there. They're a must.
Yeah.
I gave up yoga to be here, actually. Interesting. Yes. But no, I think yoga, because obviously I do dance and weight training, but yoga is very important, because it actually really helped me, my mindset, before going into property. Because when I started doing property, I started understanding how self-development was so vital. So before that, yoga was helping me calm myself with all the stress of college, university, school. So that really helped me. So I still continue with yoga. It's still to this day, I can easily flick a switch and I can think nothing in my brain. And that is pure, that's peace, that's peacefulness. And that's how
being
you
able to turn off the noise is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've now got that trick down thanks to yoga.
Yeah. And that's interesting you said about the Miracle Morning as well, just having that uninterrupted time to focus on your most important tasks is amazing. I'm not a morning person. So,
I'm a night owl as well. Even though I wake up at 6.
It's American if he's up in the morning.
No, I just get it at midnight. It's awful. It's not good. But you don't actually need, I've realised since doing it, you don't really need that many hours sleep. I mean, I used to always...
Be careful.
I love sleep. But I see my partner's always, he's never down. My partner's one of those people who's always... on one level. He can be excited, but I never see him sad. And he always gets, I would say, 5 to 6 hours a night. It's insane. On the weekend, he'll sleep a little bit.
So I need 8 hours. I find them actually increasing recently. So I went from 8 to 8.5. Big difference in my productivity.
Positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good. You might
have to get those
now.
extra half an hour. So I'd like to sleep. I just can't do it.
Right, okay.
But I do when I wake up at 4. I sleep at 9 and I wake up at 4. I have the same amount of sleep every night, but I can't make it longer. That's what I need to do.
Oh, that's interesting. Sounds
I can't work out how I can make it longer.
No. So what time do you go to bed, John?
Normally, like I say, at 11.
Okay.
So,
I was thinking earlier when you said 8 and
No, I'm my bedtime routine starts at 9. So
brilliant.
I wind down.
Yeah.
I turn off all screens. Don't watch anything too stimulating. There's no food or drink after sort of 8 p.m. I'll have a sauna. I'll play some games. I'll read, and then if I'm still awake at 11, because often I will just zonk out by then, it'll be right 11 o'clock, let's say. And then, I'm 7:30 the following morning, alarm goes off, time to get up.
So have you tried having less? I guess you have, because you're experimenting and it didn't work for you.
Not at all. The less I have, the less I function the next day. If I have 6 hours, I am a nightmare the next day. And I've got brain fog, and I just absolutely don't function. I also struggle psychologically if I have to get up early. So
I do that as well.
A few weeks ago, I had to get up at 6:30 to drive to Birmingham. So I had to get up 1 hour earlier than normal. So I thought, no problem, I'll go to bed 1 hour earlier. Who do I get to sleep? Because it wasn't bedtime. And the minute it was then 11 o'clock, I'm thinking, well, oh my God, I'm only going to get 7 hours sleep instead of the 8 that I know that I need, because I'm going to be cranky. And the minute I'm thinking I've only got 7 hours sleep, there's no chance of me getting sleep now. So 6.5 hours now. Oh my God, so we got 5 hours. Eventually, I think it got to 3 a.m. I'd had a bit of fitful sleep on this point. It got to 3 a.m. and I literally got up, turned my alarm off and said, I'm not going to Birmingham the next day, because there's no way I can do that on 3 hours sleep. At which point I went straight to sleep.
Did you make it to Birmingham?
I did.
Oh, God.
Yeah, literally, because somehow my body woke up and thought, oh, well, I'm awake now. I feel fine. I've had some sleep. But I ended up staying over that night instead of I was going up and back on the same day. But that's what happens to my body when I try to have less sleep, or I try to go to bed early and get up early the next day. So miracle morning for me. I read the book, Hello World, isn't it?
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Read the book. Did it for about 3 days. Set the alarm off at 5 in the morning. And it's funny, actually, I was chatting to one of our 1%ers about this weeks back, and she said, oh yeah, I did that. I did Miracle Morning. I lasted 3 weeks. She said, I get up 5 a.m, 5:30 every day. I was back in bed by 9.
Yeah.
So I was shattered, absolutely shattered. I had no energy. I was so drained. And it just didn't work. And I think, having studied a little bit about circadian rhythms, we do have one of 3 set natural circadian rhythms. So you're either an early bird, you kind of overlap, and you have what is called a normal 9 to 5 existence, and then you have the night owls. And this stems back from when we were all living in caves, and someone had to guard the camp. So you had the people who would guard at sunrise, you'd have the people who'd be awake during the day, and then you'd have the people who would guard from dusk until sunrise.
Yeah.
And roughly 1/3 of the population fits into one of those 3 slots. So telling someone that naturally wants to stay up till 4 a.m. and get up at midday that, oh, you should go up at 5 a.m. That's what successful people do. It just isn't going to work. And I think you've got to play to your natural strengths. If you are a morning person and getting up at 6 a.m. works for you, and that's when you've got your most energy and you can get the most done, absolutely brilliant. But
it's not for everyone.
Not for everyone, definitely not for me.
So we're doing the Ambitious Lifestyle Business podcast right now. That's what we're in the middle of doing, not the sleep.
That's great.
Going to sleep, whatever it's called. We've ticked off ambition really well, because actually you're ambitious about all of your life and all the things you've done, and also the lifestyle. There's something that's been forced on you by health and whatever else. Actually, you've chosen the kind of thing. So what other things do you do which provide you with the lifestyle that you kind of want? You're designing your life around it.
The kind of things, obviously, gym is a massive part of it. It has to work into my life, and I feel a success from doing it anyway. So I'm going to keep that up. With the sourcing that I do, I've obviously mentioned how I got into that, but that helps me determine my lifestyle now. So when I've got business meetings, events, podcasts, I can all of a sudden just stop the business and get on with things like that. So I can kind of determine my own lifestyle now, which is absolutely amazing, because it was determined for me. Obviously, when I was waitressing, when I was teaching and at university, you have to be here at this time. You cannot take time off. If you're not very well, you will be behind. So even if I was very unwell, it was just drag myself to university and look like I've just fallen out of bed, drive in the car for an hour and maybe do a bit of makeup in the car when you get there, and then go and sit down and try and take in the information. That's kind of stage it got to at one point. But no, it's amazing now that I can choose the sort of lifestyle.
I think you choose the lifestyle because you've now developed, created for yourself the mindset that life happens for you, not to you. So yes, you're going to get setbacks, you're going to get roadblocks, but actually, as long as you have the belief that you can control your destiny and you can control, okay, you're not going to be able to go back to Mexico and dance full time, but you can go to the gym 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week and do dance classes. You can teach dance. So you can still explore your passions. You just need to maybe craft and create in a slightly different way. But the minute you think, I've got control, that's when you get the real power.
Absolutely. I'm still doing my passion. I'm just on a different path now. The goal is not to be on stage every night now. The goal is to make sure that when I get to a certain age, I'm still maintaining my health, and it's the gym I have to thank for it because of the classes that I'm doing. And the way I look after my body, a major part of it in the research was the food. The doctors were saying, it's not food. You can eat what you want, and you need to live the life you want to live.
So Pop-Tarts and like sugar
hamburgers and chips every day. It didn't not that.
That would make a difference to your health whatsoever.
No, it was very bad. So I researched that as well.
And those doctors telling you that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, a specialist. He was saying it sounded nice what he was saying, but I'd already done research, so I felt like I wanted him to say, no, research has shown that rheumatoid arthritis shows too much acidic foods will give you flare-ups. And the amount of people I've connected to since finding out I've got it, they all agree with me, and they're the people with it. So let's listen to them.
He's almost sort of saying, enjoy what you've got left.
Have
what you want to eat, drink it, do what you want to do, and enjoy the time where you can keep going and doing it. That's almost kind of, you've written me off. That's how it sounds like.
You want to enjoy yourself, so I will have a fizzy drink every now and again. I do not drink alcohol, but I'm amazingly with somebody who never drinks alcohol either. Christmas and New Year, I think we had one glass of Prosecco just to celebrate Christmas Day. We didn't have anything at New Year, but we don't care. That's not who we are. But if I was in a relationship where we were alcohol dependent, it would be awful, because I know how bad it would be for my condition. Obviously, I said earlier about my dad, it's never done him any good. So,
It's interesting because I remember listening to Jason Bale, the juicing guy, talking about nutrition, and obviously it's all about the effects that things have. And again, it's example again and again and again that when you take out the burger and fries and you replace it with actual nutritious fruit, vegetables, that you can reverse and certainly minimise the effects of so many diseases.
Absolutely. Big believer of that.
Conditions.
Yeah,
doctors are reticent to it. And he said, how long's a course from the doctor? 6 years, is it? You trained from the doctor?
Oh, starting.
Plus how many years of
junior stuff.
Junior stuff. But they'll have 4 hours of nutritional training in 6 years plus ongoing work placement. So you probably know more about nutrition because you had the incentive to do that research because it's your body it's affecting.
Exactly.
When you are, someone who says a specialist, I'm guessing he's not a nutritional specialist. So he's had a very, very brief overview of nutrition, probably 7 or 8 years ago when he qualified.
True. Is there CPD there? Is there continual development?
Possibly not in the field of nutrition if they don't want to see doing what they want to be studying. So
there is a trend.
Surgery that you do that, isn't it?
I've seen a few articles recently about the NHS moving towards more preventative care and lots of diet advice.
It's exactly where it is, because if you prevent it, then you don't have anything really to be fixing, or not as many. Yeah.
Which is probably why the doctors are reticent to have a job. Anyway, that's been brilliant, hasn't it? What a fantastic to hear your story. It's been brilliant.
So if people want to connect with you, find out more about you and your journey, how can they get in touch with you?
I would advise going onto my Facebook page. So adding me as a friend, Carly Freemont, so it's Carly. You get loads of variations of that. I source very actively now. I started 2 years ago where one deal was being accepted, every month, but it's now a couple of deals a month are being accepted and being sourced on now. And just signed my first joint venture yesterday, which is what my goal was actually by the end of this year. And then the second one may come along sooner as well. So
Fantastic.
whizzing through the goals. The email address for myself, quite long. This is why I said Facebook is probably the best. But it's the company name I've got, which is Freemont Property Solutions @gmail.com. And I'll be getting there very soon, where I'll be having a website, etc. So my goal again this year, one of them is to get out there, get the website, really add some value to people's lives and help them understand how they can become a sourcing agent. Because it's insane to think that, 2 years ago I was training to be a teacher and I'm now earning more than a full-time teacher in 5 months. That's what I've done in the last 5 months. I've earned more money than I would have as a full-time teacher in 12 months.
And you've done that part-time?
Part-time, yeah. So that's been an amazing, successful part of this journey.
If you'd like to know more about how you can replicate College Journey, then
you'll find her on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
CARLY.
That was amazing. That was so insane.
Pretty good. Great. Thank you ever so much for joining us on the Ambitious Lifestyle Business Podcast.
Thanks for having me. Thanks. Bye.
So there we are, another episode in the can. How was it for you? Please let us know. However you listen to these podcasts, please leave a review on that platform. Let us know what we can do better, what you like, what you don't like, and how we can improve to make this show even better for you. We'll see you next time.